What's up, everybody? I thought I'd kind of hop on here and just say that hey, if anybody's watching the game and wants to hang out, then get involved in the conversation. Nice for the game to be on YouTube. I got to be honest. I am going to see if I can put this. Hey, anybody in the chat? What's up? All right. So one thing I think I'll say is I think it's a huge risk to do. Yo, I think it's a huge risk for Manchester United to drop Fred. But I think this is the kind of ambition that you need to show. It's a conversation. It's a conversation I actually had with. It's a conversation I actually had with James recently about how I think a lot of teams will try and be smart in finals, and what they'll actually try and do is they'll take the more conservative option. And what you're doing then is you're immediately giving kind of the onus to the opposition to say, hey, we're gonna kind of invite you in, right? Whereas I think what Solskjaer has done, and quite rightly so, I mean they've been undefeated away from home this season in the Premier League. Like we can't forget that. So if Manchester United away from home, if Solskjaer wants to upgrade the central midfield position with Pogba over Fred and just try and take the game to Villarreal a little more, hey, I'm not against that decision. I think that's actually probably the right way to go. Omni Football TV. I agree. I think the CB partnership is sketchy. Hey, man, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's Eric Bailly is either the best centre back in the world or one of the worst. There is absolutely no middle ground. And I think the thing with somebody like a Victor Lindelof, you always get like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Eric Bailly, you're either getting a 9 out of 10 or you're getting a 3 out of 10. And I think that obviously that's a huge risk in a final. I totally agree with you. But what I would say to you is the upside of Axel Twanzebe as potentially the other option, I'm not so sure. And also the potential downside of playing Maguire when not fully fit. I don't know how I would personally feel about that. But, this Villarreal team aren't to be messed around with. And I give Solskjaer a lot of credit for going for it. But you can't underestimate this team, or else they're going to be in trouble. Any questions? Please pop them in the chat. I'll try and answer them, or obviously, or try and get to any comments I can. Pogba and McTominay. If I spelled that correctly, hey, it's not easy. Great pairing on paper. I agree. Yep, you're absolutely right. Lindelof's weakness is the aerial department. Could cost him against Moreno. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that is a very dangerous player. Gerard Moreno, they're not messing around. They're not messing around there. And this Villarreal team, there's experience, there's youth, and there's talent, across the board. And Unai Emery, I mean, Jesus, if you're trying to win just one game, Unai Emery's got to be in your top 5 managers kind of right now to have in a one match must get a result kind of scenario. I mean, we know what he's done at Sevilla. Obviously, he didn't have the most dramatic success at PSG or at Arsenal, but Unai Emery, don't get it twisted, is a very, very good manager. And Unai Emery, you know what I'm going to do here? Also, as I get progressively more and more drunk as I'm watching this game, Unai Emery's not to be messed with here. This is basically the wheel versus good evening. I know. Regardless of the result, the meme is going to be on point. I'm really excited for Twitter, regardless of who wins. I mean, it's almost more fitting if Unai Emery, if Unai Emery knocks out Arsenal but then doesn't win. I think that's almost more funny. So Rashford. I'm watching on YouTube, by the way, guys. So I might be a few seconds behind, but I'm kind of taking advantage of the free game here to do a watch along. It's something that James and I have wanted to do quite a lot more. But obviously we haven't had the chance a great deal of time because of COVID, and also James and I have only very recently graduated, and obviously we're still trying to figure out our futures and stuff, So if Emery wins, there's Arsenal fans are going to weep. Hey man, I agree. But I would also, I mean, it's probably a little bittersweet for Arsenal fans, right? Because obviously Emery's done well in a competition, and you wonder if Emery was the manager this year, could Arsenal have won the Europa League? That's Emery's competition. Just a little leak here. I don't know if James is going to appreciate this at all. Me saying this, but I know that Antonio Conte now being available, he's kind of parted ways with Inter. I know that James, for example, is somebody who definitely wants Arsenal to fire Mikel Arteta and bring Antonio Conte in as quickly as humanly possible. And honestly, at this point, I don't blame him. I have been a bit of a defender of Mikel Arteta, and I do think long term, there's a lot of upside for having Mikel Arteta as your manager. But unfortunately, no foul. But unfortunately, the positives that were there in the early days of Arteta, I'm not seeing so much at the moment, which is always gonna be kind of something to pull back. Right, okay, we got Pogba super worried about. I don't even know who that is on the ground. Also, interesting dynamic in this game, I think, is interesting dynamic in this game will be Pau Torres. Pau Torres. This is almost certainly his last game for Villarreal. Or was it Foyth? Yeah, so I think Pogba's knee might have gone into Foyth because Foyth slipped there. So we're going to take a bit of time here. Guys, I know we've only got like a handful of people in watching right now, but if you've got any questions for me or anything, any comments you want to make that I can kind of react to here, then please feel free while we have shots of Unai Emery and his slicked back CM Punk hair. Oh, that is brutal. I don't know if you're going to get past concussion with that. I don't know if you guys saw that. That wasn't good. Pau Torres will be key. There is no debate there. His partnership with Albiol has been brilliant. Yeah, and it's the perfect kind of 1-2 punch, because you've got Raul Albiol. We can clown him for he never truly hit the heights, and he always kind of played second fiddle to a lot of the better Spanish centre back partnerships. But that man has a lot of experience. He's played in a lot of big games. He's been around for a long time. Nasty one for Foyth. Hang on a minute. One Foyth was 8. What is that? I don't know about that. Is that right? That is Foyth, isn't it? I'm not going crazy here, am I? Is Foyth? Yeah, it must be Foyth. We're an 8. I mean, are they playing him in? When he was signed, was he going to be kind of a defensive midfielder? Damn. Guys, is this the first time in history that a player has touched their nose to check if there's blood, and there actually was blood when they said they had a bloody nose? Because it feels like that to me. Question, set pieces. Considering how teams have overlooked scoring from them in comparison to before, Villarreal actually taking advantage of them. Do you do you see United coping down this keyboard? um, it's tricky. I think you'd say they had a much better shout with somebody like Harry Maguire back there, because I think you'd say, I'm streaming, bro. How much time gone in your game? I'm just shy of 11 minutes, Sammy. Good to see you, by the way, dude. Nice to have you in here. It's a lot easier with Harry Maguire. Greenwood with a cross. It's a lot easier with Harry Maguire in there. But like I said, I think especially with somebody like Scott McTominay, Pogba brings a lot of height. The likes of Cavani's going to be back there. Marcus Rashford, we've seen at the front post, kind of did slabhead. #slabhead. Yeah, true. We've seen them do well. I think the problem is, ever since data analysis has entered our game, we know that the percentage of chance from scoring directly from corners is actually a lot less for many teams, many of the better teams. So what we're seeing is short corners, and I'm sure that everybody has an uncle or a father or a grandfather or an older brother or whatever going, oh, why are they going short from the corner? It's like, well, historically they'll have looked at the data and they'll have gone, well, we don't score directly from corners, so what's the point in taking corners? You can say it's a missed opportunity, but if you have a greater chance of scoring from open play with a cross from out wide with, say, 4 or 5 people in the box, then that's where you're going to be at. And it depends on your squad as well. I think I remember that Jose Mourinho team that was Zlatan, Pogba, Matic. It was really a lot. Chris Smalling. It was a lot built on height. And I think that would be kind of different. Whereas now, United do have some taller players still in there, but it's definitely going to be less about that. So Villarreal, they're definitely going to be a threat. I think Owen Hargreaves prior to the game mentioned about Villarreal are like the third or fourth top scorer in La Liga. That can't be doubted. Let's be clear here. There are some decent attacks with good creative options and dangerous attacking players in La Liga. So for Villarreal, with a defensive manager like Unai Emery to be doing that well, Manchester United cannot just think, this will be 0-0 until we score. I miss the days when free kicks and corners used to be so much mobile. Me too. OmniFoot TV, I still maintain that a free kick on the edge of the box is still very dangerous. Maybe not as dangerous as it used to be, but I still get that feeling, depending on the positioning, and depending on the player. I mean, sometimes this is not like a brag, but sometimes I feel like you can look at a player and go, they're going to score this. Like, this is the perfect distance. This is on the right side. They have the perfect counter. When you have a left-footed player on the right side and a right-footed player on the left side, and you don't know where it's going to go, and maybe the wall's in a funny position, I still feel like free kicks, sometimes you just know when they're going in. What else we got here? Jack, you saw Rafa on CBS. Is that Honigstein, Sammy? Rafa Honigstein? This cannot be a defensive final as last year's final was. Oli and Emery should go all out. I think by virtue of the lineup, I mean, Carlos Bacca started. So as far as I'm concerned, I really feel like Villarreal maybe think that their best bet is to just go all out. I'm hoping we'll get some goals. I hate to say it, the way the game has gone so far, I'm not feeling like there's going to be a bunch of chances. I think the kind of half chances both teams have had so far, more so Man United, they've kind of fluffed their lines. I'm thinking the McTominay shot, and obviously there's been a couple of crosses as well. We know that this Unai Emery team are going to be fantastic managing the game. So I think an early Manchester United goal is exactly what this final needs for it to be good, basically. Rafa Benitez. No, Sammy. So I'm watching the BT Sport coverage on YouTube. OmniFoot TV, you're right. Best example I can give you is Del Piero against Lazio in 2011. That free kick is the last feeling I had before it was taken. Yeah, so sometimes the distance, the time in the game, and the player. I mean, I can't tell you. The biggest one for me, back post, difficult attempt there for Trigueros. Messi usually anywhere from like Messi anywhere from 22 to maybe 28 yards out. Just with that kind of very deadpan pose that he's in, that very kind of chilled out pose he's in, and then striking. I'm always confident that Leo Messi is going to be somebody to score a free kick from those kind of angles. But no, like the most recent one, funnily enough, you know who it was? It was damn, was it an Arsenal goal? I think was there an Arsenal goal, an Arsenal free kick where somebody you kind of would go, no, was it Fernandinho? Damn. Anyway, there was somebody taking a free kick where you would say, oh, there's no way they should have taken Mahrez. That was it. It was Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez took a free kick. Kevin De Bruyne was stood over the free kick, and I think De Bruyne had put the ball down and kind of said oh, I'm going to take this. And Mahrez then went, no, I really feel good about this. And it wasn't a great free kick, but Mahrez did end up scoring it. I think that was the last time that I thought it's going to be Mahrez, and oh my god, he's going to score. Going off for like 15, charging this phone so I can rejoin. Okay, mate. Thank you very much for being involved. We appreciate the support in here. Yeah, dude. Yes, that's exactly what happened. You're absolutely right. Like spot on. And that was the last time I think I had this feeling of like, surely they're going to predict it's De Bruyne. So maybe Mahrez will get a shot at this. And then he did, and he got super lucky. Let's be honest. The wall kind of messed him up there. But generally speaking, yeah, free kicks around the edge. I'm still excited about them, but corners are so much less of a danger now. And I don't have the data to back that up. That's just a feeling I get. And data analysis in football, the reason why corners go short for some of the better teams here is because, statistically they don't do as well directly from corners, and they're going to be a better football team going from short. Man, I've been talking for a while. I haven't been watching this game. I don't know if the YouTube rules allow me to drink while I'm on stream here. I hope they do. I'm not. This could be water. Let's be fair. I could have filled a brown bottle filled full of water. So. And yeah, I am drinking. I'm drinking water, right? Right, everybody? Please, help. Good pressure from Cavani. That's a foul. Oh, wow, he didn't get it. Interesting. Okay. Carlos Bacca is going to be a threat. I think Carlos Bacca, like maybe not so much Eric Bailly, but Carlos Bacca can definitely bully somebody like Victor Lindelof. It's a dangerous ball. Nice. Good play from Pau Torres and Ruili as well. Yeah. Any other questions? Obviously, any other questions or comments from people watching? Please drop them in the chat. I'll try and get to them and answer them as quickly as I can. I just want to talk a little bit about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So Wan-Bissaka is not in the England squad now. My one opinion, where I do largely feel like I'm somewhat alone, like I don't hear anybody else saying it, so I don't know whether you would classify that as in the unpopular opinion camp, or maybe it's just a rare opinion. But to me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is arguably the most important substitute the England team can have. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is I do legitimately believe that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best defensive fullback in the world. I really do believe that. I would put him against any fullback in terms of just defensive attributes and one-on-one defending. I do believe Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best in the world with that. So to me, if you're England and you start with Trent Alexander-Arnold or a Kyle Walker or even a Kieran Trippier, right? I think that if you're 2 goals up or a goal up and you're playing a Belgium or you're playing, a Portugal or a Spain, a Germany, one of the big teams who are going to have a dangerous left winger, I think your best bet is surely going to be putting on Aaron Wan-Bissaka and just saying to him, hey, you need to lock this guy down. We cannot have this guy, running amok out here. So to me, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka should go. It wouldn't upset me if he didn't even play, but I feel like if Eden Hazard is just If Eden Hazard is running amok, I think, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the guy you need to bring on to try and shut him down. You just give him a man marking job, especially if it's that caliber of player. So Sammy, Jack, where's Antonio Conte off to? Antonio Conte, one thing that I really do know and respect about him is he loves to work. He loves to work. Now, he's won the title, and I'm sure it was a pretty stressful year and stressful season for him. But I think if the offer was right, a move back to the Premier League would not be out of the equation. I would also say that I don't think Antonio Conte is the type of person who would turn down Juventus again. Now, I know you might be thinking, what are you talking about? That's crazy. The lack of money that somebody like Andrea Pirlo is being paid and how easily Juve could just get rid of him and then bring in somebody like Conte. We could be talking about Juve winning Serie A again. I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world. I really don't. So here we are. We've got a Villarreal corner. Good defensive header away by Scott McTominay. And another block by Scott McTominay. Another thing I guess I just want to address. Yeah, Conte, where is he off to? I don't know if Daniel Levy is going to be tempted by another kind of big name, big personality manager. I think that Daniel Levy likes to be the most powerful person at the club. And I think that the Mourinho experiment, it didn't go as badly as I thought it would. I thought it would just absolutely blow up in his face, but it ended up not being too bad. I just wonder if somebody like Conte, especially coming off the win and the victory that he's just had, I'm not so sure. So I'm going to rule out Spurs. Obviously, I'm going to rule out the likes of Wolves and that kind of thing. I do think he'll stay in Italy. I cannot see him going to Napoli to replace somebody like Gattuso, who has Carlos Bacca with the Rabona cross. Anybody see that? Woo-hoo-hoo! That's the kind of stuff we want to see in our game. I love stuff like that, man. That gets me excited. Oof, he needed to as well. If he'd have hit that with his left, I think that would have been a block by Wan-Bissaka. He kind of needed to get that extra, half a yard around there to get the cross in. I hate to say it, everybody, but the game is going exactly as I kind of thought it would be going. That there's a little bit of anxiety, but largely speaking, it's Man United pushing it. Oh, Cavani! I tried to get it across back to Rashford. Anybody watching? What do you think of the game so far? Any comments? Anything you're going to mention? Has anybody got any bets on? I'm going to let everybody know my bet. I have both teams to score. I have Trigueros and Scott McTominay to be booked, and I have Manchester United to lift the trophy. I managed to get that, I think, like 33 to 1. So I was pretty happy with that. I think people discount. I think people largely discount this Villarreal team, and they really shouldn't. They really should not. Oh man. Okay. Solskjaer wearing a trench coat right now? Is that what we're saying? New look? Guys, anybody watching, it would really help the channel if you're not subscribed to please hit subscribe. And also drop a like. If you're enjoying the watch along, if you're enjoying the game, hell, drop a like. It just helps support the channel, helps support me and James. It's a nice hobby for us to have and kind of get to here. How are you guys finding the game so far? Any predictions? Has anybody got Villarreal? I'm sure a lot of people have. Man United, but has anybody got Villarreal? Does anybody think Villarreal are going to win? Yeah, so one thing I think I tried to get to, but ended up not getting to. I really do feel as though if Manchester United, um, if Manchester United managed to offload Pogba to PSG, to Juve, good luck with that, by the way, or to Real Madrid, or wherever Mino Raiola wants Pogba to go. I see a lot of stuff about saying, Manchester United need a central midfielder. I don't think they do. I really don't. I'd be interested. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. But as far as I'm concerned, with Fernandes, with McTominay, with Fred, with that kid Hannibal, Mejbri, whatever his name is, Donny van der Beek. I think even without Pogba, you got kids coming back from loan and this kind of thing. I think central midfield is largely a strength for Man United. I don't think they need to spend a bunch of money to try and upgrade their midfield. It's very strong already, in my opinion. I think central defense is huge, and then long term a striker, and then a right fullback. Even if it's somebody from the academy. I know Brandon Williams supposedly Man United are high on. But central midfield is not an area I feel like Manchester United need to develop or bring out. I mean, do we really think there's going to be a huge drop off from Man United if the starting central midfield three is McTominay, Van der Beek, and Fernandes? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. I think Pogba is a tremendous player, but I think that he's overhyped. Sure, I do think he's overrated. I still think he's a fantastic player. But I'd sooner have a Bruno Fernandes in my team than I would a Paul Pogba. And I think that that really says it all in terms of where Pogba's value is. We got Sammy saying that United will win. Okay, I'm going to pin this message. Does that come up on my screen? This is my first time doing this, by the way, everybody. So. United will win. Yeah, I mean, it feels that way. Unai Emery's a smart guy, and if they don't take their chances, I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. Anybody watching the Manchester United goalkeeper situation? We got Donnarumma leaving AC Milan. Supposedly, the kind of closest linked club to Donnarumma is going to be Barcelona. So is Ter Stegen going to be available? Should Manchester United make a big push for Donnarumma? Does Henderson need more time? Should De Gea just stay there? What are we thinking here? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think the David De Gea contract is the problem. I don't think. De Gea, is he a top 5 goalkeeper in the world anymore? No. Is he top 10? Yeah, probably. Probably still sneaks in the top 10, I would say, probably. But, he's definitely not in that top 5 range anymore. Oh! Villarreal scored. Number 7. Gerard Moreno, as expected. This is the most dangerous guy for the Villarreal team. And this is it's just within the first half an hour. This is the exact kind of thing that Villarreal will have wanted, because now they can sit a little deeper. They can use Carlos Bacca to try and hold up the ball a little bit more. Gerard Moreno can be a bit of a nuisance, and they can do what Unai Emery does best. This is a huge, huge goal as part of the game. I'll be honest, in terms of an exciting game, I was hoping Man United would score first, because then Villarreal would have to come out and try and play a little more. A little bit of a push in the back of Lindelof, but not enough for me to overturn it. Good finish, hard finish, difficult finish. Credit where credit's due, Wow. Yeah, that's not going to go to VAR, is it? AJM subscribes to Box to Box. Appreciate that. AJM, we know who you are. We know who you are. Wow. Okay. I thought there might be a little check there. Bindeloff. I thought there might be a check there for the kind of the slight push in the back for Lindelof there, but not enough. I mean, if you're a central defender playing in a Europa League final, you need to do better than that. Let's be honest here. This game is going exactly the way that Unai Emery and exactly the way that Villarreal want it to right now, and it's gonna be a moment of magic from a Rashford, from a Fernandes, a Greenwood, a Cavani to try and pull them out of this. I fully expect it to be 1-0 for half time. I don't think that we're going to see anything major in terms of a change. And hey guys, credit where credit's due, right? Let's not mess around here. This is good management of a game from players who have been drilled well and know what they need to do to be successful. Let's be honest. No, and the commentator, I think, is it Peter Drury? I think it might be. He makes a very good point there. Look, we can clown Harry Maguire all we want. Harry Maguire is a top 5 centre back in the Premier League. I would say that in the world, top 20, maybe just at the latter stages of that top 20. Nice bit of ball winning from Scott McTominay there. Probably the latter halves there of the top 20 in world football for Harry Maguire as a centre back. And when it comes to Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure they even grace the top 50. I mean, maybe they do, but Ian Dark, there you go, Sammy. Appreciate that. So Ian Dark saying about how they miss Harry Maguire, and yeah, guys, it's not pretty. It doesn't look good. It's very British in that respect. I'm British myself. I can hold my hand up and say that. A lot of the time when British football is largely successful, there's nothing too overly sexy about it. I joked with James about thinking about Solskjaer is pissed. It's nice to see that. I don't know what you guys think, but it's nice to see that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer properly frustrated and angry. That's nice because there's a little too much where Solskjaer feels a little passive and not overly involved in the game. So nice to see that from him. Damn it, De Gea. Omnifoot, are you hoping Man United win this then, or what's the deal? Also, so you think De Gea should have saved that then, right? He should be. It's good to see him more animated. Yeah, right. No, I think you're talking about Solskjaer there, right? Yeah, no, hey man, I'm with you. It's good. It's good. You need. I think people a lot like to try and be binary with man management and how to deal with players, but largely speaking, people talk about the carrot and the stick, and I think that any good manager knows that it's a combination of both. And it depends what combination of both it is per player, right? So what I mean by that is, let's say you got somebody like Harry Maguire, and he reacts better to the stick than he does the carrot. But obviously, he still likes a carrot every now and again, right? Whereas some other players, it might be the opposite. They respond to the carrot a little better than the stick, etc., etc. I honestly want the better team. Yeah, no, I agree. So far, it's Villarreal, but I expected De Gea to save that. Yeah, and I think prime De Gea would have saved that. I think the issue is, again, I know James kind of makes fun of me for this because I'm always talking about it from a business sense, but that's one of the worst contracts in history. Let's be fair. The highest paid player is a goalkeeper. Guys, there is there is a surplus of talented goalkeepers. I mean, just look across European football at backup goalkeepers. You'll know how many talented individuals there are playing for goalkeepers. So for the highest paid player, in the best league in the world, in the Premier League, to be a goalkeeper is not a good look for Manchester United. And they, especially with somebody like Dean Henderson, letting somebody like Sam Johnston go, it's not a good look for good look for Manchester United, with the highest paid player in the entire league occasionally being a backup to Dean Henderson, who, let's be clear, is also on a decent contract. He's on a pretty big contract. Omnifoot, man management is psychology and adaptation. You have to understand the player, adapt. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's a combination of carrot and stick. It's a combination of shouting at somebody and arm round somebody. It's you got to have both of those. And the players who react to only one of them, they're probably pretty easy to manage because you know where you stand. Sammy, Jack, Alaba is not even a top 15 centre back in the world. I don't fall for versatile BS. I judge him as a CB. I get you there. But what I would say to you, mate, is if David Alaba in a huge game has to be moved to fullback or moved to central midfielder, and show his versatility, I think there is a certain level of you're paying for that. It's in the exact same way. I look at Kyle Walker, right? We've talked about the England squad a little bit here and who should be where. To me, I don't think Kyle Walker is the best right back that England have, nor do I think that he's the best, one of the best centre backs we have. But I do maintain that as a right centre back in that England team, he has a lot of value. That's who I would have starting on the right of a back three for England is Kyle Walker. So the versatility does come into it somewhat. Sammy, let me put this to you, mate. Is Paolo Maldini a fullback or is he a centre back? And are you going to judge him as one over the other? Because he had crazy success as both, and he's one of the greatest of all time in both positions. So, sometimes that I'm not trying to compare David Alaba to Paolo Maldini. Let's be clear here, but the versatility does come into it, and it does have a lot of value long term. How dare you insinuate that the EPL isn't the best league in the world? Puts fist up. I know it is. Let's be clear, it is. 2 European finals, and we got 3 English teams representing. And you know what's crazy? And this is what I think is kind of scary for the rest of Europe. It's been a relatively down year in the Premier League in terms of quality. Man City have been great, but Man City have not been excellent. I think Man City could have had a better season. That's I don't really rate Man City's season from a standpoint of achieving all that they could have achieved. They won purely from a Premier League perspective. I'm just going to put that out there. If they win the Champions League and the Premier League, they've achieved all they can achieve. But either side of that 19-20 game win streak, Man City were not anything special. The only reason why they've had it so easy is because all the teams who would have competed for the title have not been fully at it either. So in terms of the rest of Europe, to have Chelsea and Man City and Man United in all these finals, it shows you, Arsenal were the other semi-final. Let's remember, it really kind of shows you where we're at right now in Europe. Maldini more of a fullback. I'm not so sure. So Man United putting a bit of pressure on, but Villarreal dealing with it, And that's the thing. Pressure doesn't always result in goals. What we got here, Omnifoot. If City get a proper number 9, we should just hand them the title in August. Hey, honestly, I'm not there quite yet because I want to see how Kane does in the Euros. But Man United or Man City, whichever team gets Harry Kane, I'm getting closer and closer to having the opinion that they're just going to win the league. Seriously. I know, and you might just go, whoa. Man United signed Kane, you think they're just going to win the league? Honestly, yeah. They'll probably sign a centre-back. They're looking to move on from a number of players, whether that's Pau Torres, whether that's Sven Botman, whether that's Jules Koundé from Sevilla. I think if Man United sign Harry Kane and then make one signing, either a centre back or Jadon Sancho, we need to remember Eric Bailly signed a new deal. Man United will win the league next year with Harry Kane. I do believe that. City, I'm even more confident. They're definitely going to win the league. And Kane is kind of reaching a point in his career right now as well where I think if you're Pep Guardiola, and you're working with kind of a 27, 28-year-old Harry Kane is going to be willing to do what he needs to do to win. So if you need Kane to, even though he's an out-and-out striker, if you need Kane to play like a false nine type role, we've seen this season. He won the record for assists this year. He got the Golden Boot and the assists. So if you don't think that Harry Kane is capable of playing in a Pep Guardiola team, you are absolutely crazy. And Omnifoot, in terms of the rest of your comment there, Erling Haaland, Lautaro Martinez, pick a name out of the hat. I think if City can get a half decent number 9, who at this point of their career will be better than an Aguero, will obviously be better than a Jesus, then yeah, City are absolutely rolling. Emery teams are hard to break down. We struggled against them weekend gone. Yeah, Sammy, you're absolutely right. I one of the reasons why I kind of feel like I knew that Atletico Madrid were going to win the league is I looked at, Real Madrid's last couple of games and I saw Villarreal there. And I knew that, Unai Emery would take, full pride in being able to take away an opportunity for Real Madrid to win La Liga. Omnifoot, Villarreal have been extremely tight at the back, maintained their shape well, attacking by pushing their entire lineup. They've managed to keep United at bay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, I think this is the kind of format we expected from the game. From a neutral point of view, it's a shame Villarreal scored first. I think it would be a more entertaining game if Man United scored first. But yeah, we're going to see how good this Man United team are. The one thing I'll say is there are too many outstanding individual talents who do have good relationships in this United team for me to fully expect them to score. I do believe Man United, this game is not going to finish 1-0 or 2-0. Man United will score. I think if Villarreal are thinking that they're going to be able to defend for 60 minutes or so, especially with what Man United have on the bench, good luck with that. But we will see. We will see. Mason Greenwood only needs half a yard. Cavani only needs a half decent delivery. Bruno Fernandes only needs a penalty. And Paul Pogba, who knows what Paul Pogba needs. Right, let's have a look here. Hey, good man. Oh, that's a corner. Surely you're giving that as a corner. Oh, no way. Guys, at halftime, I think I'm probably going to grab myself another cold glass of water. And I'm probably going to maybe get myself some food. But obviously, any comments or any questions, let us know here. Ooh! Hit Luke Shaw's hand, right? I'm just saying. Been a couple here where I'm surprised VAR hasn't had another look. Mason Greenwood is so dangerous, man. How did that counterattack end so badly? No sport at all. This is Unai Emery, I think he's playing the percentages here. He knows that if he tries to make he knows that if he's trying to make this game 2-0, he knows it's probably going to be more likely going to be 1-1 than it is. Oh, Rashford! Oof. Man of the match so far. Trigueros has played really well. I'm going to put that out there. Trigueros has played very, very well. And by the way, I'm not kind of married to the idea that the winning team has to have the man of the match. I don't feel strongly about that. I feel like if a member of the losing team can show you enough. Well, Greenwood will round the defender. That's embarrassing. Albiol, did he get hit in the privates there? Mason Greenwood's going to be the best outlet here. I mean, that's just a one. He just runs by him. Did it hit him in the testicles? Yeah, it did. Oh no! Raul Albiol's dusty testicles. He just took a shot there. That is unpleasant. We've all been there. As men, we've all been there. It's halftime soon, buddy. You'll be fine. His experience is going to be invaluable. Invaluable. So we're just approaching halftime here. Groin injuries are absolutely horrid. Yeah, hey, trust me. Yeah, I'm feeling more and more comfortable saying Trigueros is my man of the match so far. I mean, I have no doubt that will change. Like I said, I don't think this game ends 1-0 or 2-0. I would be surprised. I think Man United are going to score. Just depends when, It just depends when. How are you guys finding the game? Any bets? Anybody new, by the way? Anybody? I know, like I said, I know we've only got like a single-digit amount of people in here right now, but anybody kind of new who's not seen us before? Honestly, so far, Albiol is my man of the match. If Greenwood keeps this up, I'll probably give it to him. Yeah, Greenwood's been a huge threat. Like we can't underestimate that. And going forward, that's going to be a big factor in the game here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the subs benches for both teams, just so I know what we're looking at here. So Maguire is on the bench. Mata, Fred, Amadiolo, Dan James, Tejas, Van der Beek. So that's the thing. There's not too much of a game changer to come on, really, for this Manchester United team. And as far as Villarreal go, I mean, geez, if you want to bring on, Coquelin, Paco Alcacer when the game's a little more stretched. Even somebody like Pena can cause you some trouble, especially if he's given certain, Moy Gomez. I mean, this Villarreal, this is the thing that people don't give this Villarreal squad enough credit. Still going with United. Hey, Sammy, I get it. Trust me. I do think this will be 1-1 at some point. I just don't know if that's going to be the finish. For anybody watching BT, what do we think about these ads? Right? What do we think about these ads? I like drawing attention to this kind of stuff, but I have to be honest with you. The psychological studies and people way more intelligent and educated than me would be able to tell you, if you put anonymity and that mob mentality, right, in front of you as a human being. Now, this doesn't happen to me. I'm not a troll. I don't, if somebody has a bad opinion, I don't, I don't kind of let them have it to the extremes. Like, for example, my most recent thing I think I made a comment of is Lee Dixon, for my money, is one of the worst color commentators and football pundits going. And I watch a lot of NBC coverage of football. And the fact that I have to listen to Lee Dixon, it hurts my heart. I have to basically mute the screen or the TV that I'm watching on, because Lee Dixon's opinion, antiquated, outdated, and he just doesn't get it from a standpoint of modern football. So Lee Dixon, I think I've tweeted, like, I can't believe I'm still listening to Lee Dixon. Like, please, we need somebody better at this point. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best. This is the kind of highest rank of your profession as a football commentator. And we know a lot of ex-pros get this kind of role and these jobs. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't want some ex-player who, just because he's an ex-player and a name, he gets it. I want, even if it's somebody who has no background in football, if they know their stuff and they're motivated and they're passionate about the game, I want to hear that person play. So as far as I'm concerned, like, yeah, I don't want to hear Lee Dixon on my TV. I want to hear somebody else who kind of really knows their stuff and go from there. And I'm sure you guys watching, you have your own favorite pundits and your own favorite commentators and that kind of thing. But the issue I think I have with this BT Sport thing is it's virtue signaling. I believe that's the expression. You're not going to be able to change the mentality and psychology of human beings that has been built up over thousands and thousands of years. Like, let's be totally transparent here. If people don't know who you are, if you have that anonymity, and you're in a mob of people who agree with you and like your post because you're in an echo chamber where everybody is saying stuff that you're agreeing with, and because of the what's the expression I'm looking for? Because of the way the apps are designed, right? You get fed the same kind of information for people who agree with you. Unfortunately, that's always going to happen. And I hate to say this, BT Sport, it's a nice idea, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't see any decent percentage of people kind of changing their behavior to make this a better world to be in. If I was a professional, or if I was famous, yeah, I'd be off social media immediately, or I'd let somebody run my account. You can't listen to these people. It's this anonymity, and I don't love it. I don't love it. That's all. I think it's a waste of time, and I think it's a waste of money. Couple of questions here. Muting Lee Dixon, legendary. Thank you. Yeah, the man knows very little about football, or at least that's what his commentary suggests to me, that he doesn't know anything. The amount of times I see, a foul, which is a foul, but there's a dive, and he goes, "Oh, it's just ridiculous." It's like, Lee, this is part of the game now. If you can't accept that, you need to start actually watching the game, because this is where the game is going. Jack, you in the US or the UK? Sammy, right now I am in the UK. Obviously, I have family in the States, and I have spent a lot of time out there. But no, I'm in the UK right now. I am in West London right now. The Keane Richards partnership is just hilarious. Yeah, Roy Keane and Micah Richards. That's just great entertainment. That's the thing. Like, I'm not looking for guys like that for super in-depth analysis on football. Roy Keane's just going to say that everyone should do better. And okay, that gets a little old, but his delivery is so funny. You know exactly where Roy Keane is coming from. Micah Richards, he just loves to wind him up. I love that. I will say I've not been a huge fan of Micah Richards as a pundit. He does say a lot of things that I think I generally just come to expect out of pundits. I like it when people do throw something a little different. Kind of a crazy opinion out there, or an educated opinion that maybe is against what everybody else thinks. I'll give you a funny example, right? Michael Owen gets clowned a lot as a pundit, as a commentator, all these things. Now, he has a lot of bad takes. He's not particularly funny or engaging. He's kind of a boring guy, a bit kind of bland, a bit grey, right? But when Michael Owen talks about finishing, especially in the box, my ears kind of prick up, right? My ears go, ooh, Michael Owen won a Ballon d'Or as a striker. This is one of the, in his time, in his prime, Michael Owen is one of the best finishers and strikers we've ever seen in his prime, right? So when Michael Owen starts talking about finishing, I do listen, because he has some really, really good points to make. It's when he starts talking about defending midfield play tactics. That's where I kind of turn off a little bit, you know. Virtue signaling is a real problem in general, any field. I totally agree. Yeah, man, it's a problem. You know, it's a huge problem, and you know, I know that the internet, everything stays here for forever. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I didn't post a black screen on my Instagram, but I did donate to the Black Lives Matter charity, right? I didn't clap for the NHS because it doesn't benefit the NHS, but I did donate some money to the NHS or to a charity that supports the NHS. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that people need more and more to not get sucked into these social media trendy ways about going into virtue signaling basically. And you know, people need to put their money where their mouth is. Let's be honest, and try and strive for real change. You know, we don't want people to be abused online. We don't want you know, racial minorities or social minorities to be mistreated. But unfortunately, the way to do that is not a hashtag, and the way to do that is not clapping. It benefits nobody. You need to actually do something. You need to, you know, to try and make a change. You need to actually do that, not just put your hands together or post a black square on your Instagram or follow a hashtag. You know. I respect Keane, to be fair. His approach is very stark. Hey, dude, I agree with you. I agree with you. I do like Roy Keane. You know, I've said to James in the past, like, I wish that Roy Keane played almost 10 years before, because I think the end of Roy Keane's career is just when things got a little, you know, you can't really do anything. So I'd have loved to have seen Roy Keane play even 10 years prior, because I think he'd have had even more success than he already did. You know, that guy's one of the best leaders I've ever seen. His persona on the pitch, usually people forget how great of a player he was. The guy was a decent finisher, great passer of the ball, unbelievable worker. And like I say, arguably the best captain the game has ever seen. Very stark, but Richards provides comic relief. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, if anybody knows Roy Keane, he's very quick to he's very quick to kind of over criticize, and you do need that. You know, Omnifoot, you make a really good point. It's the comic relief side. There's the tension. Everybody's shoulders are up, and you're tense, and then Micah Richards, you know, will say some joke about Man City being better than Man United, and Roy Keane will say like, "Oh, I'm not so sure about that." You know, I think my favorite moment was Micah Richards was talking about how he was like a breakout star, and Roy Keane was like, "You don't really break out, Micah. You know, those are just great moments. That's just, you know," to quote, what is it, Alan Partridge? It's great banter. It really is. How's James? James is good. James is busy. I'm sure he's not going to mind me releasing this information, but James is super busy at the moment. He's desperately trying to get his driving test done. And with COVID and a couple other things, which I won't go into, I think James has found it very frustrating, you know, trying to get his driving license, because, you know, we know that's a big part of a lot of people's lives. So let's kind of cross our fingers and our toes and, you know, knock on wood and do all this kind of stuff, and hope that James does well in his driving test, whether that be soon or whether that's, you know, in the future. But no, James is good. James is good. He's I think he's probably a pretty unhappy Arsenal fan right now. But no, James is good. Talk is cheap. You did the right thing. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, generally speaking, treat everybody, you know, the same, regardless of, you know, color, creed, religion, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, we are in a time right now where it's very easy to hit like or retweet, and I'm sorry to say this, everybody, but it does nothing. To make a change in the world, you've got to be the change that you want to see. So yeah, donate. You know, money makes change. I'm telling you. So donate where you can. You know, support the right causes. You know, let's be smart, and let's also not have somebody online. Let's also not have somebody online tell you that, you know, you're racist or you don't support the NHS if you don't post a black square on your Instagram, or you don't clap at, 7 p.m. on a Sunday. Like, it's just not true. It's just not true, everybody. Okay. I remember that. I loved how he told Gary he was the only right back in the squad. Yeah, that's right. I remember that one too. That was really good. I was right back for blah blah blah. It's like, well, only right back in the squad, Gary. It never really laughs. I love that kind of stuff. That's good. Uh, yeah, no, he's class. Roy Keane is hilarious. Anybody? I can't remember the name of the show. I'll have to try and find it on my phone here. Um, um, but he did this kind of forum thing with Gary Neville where he just, I mean, ruins Ferguson and really kind of goes off on him. It was Off the Ball, uncut. Roy Keane and Gary Neville on the treble booze and the MUFC glory years. That is a serious, serious interview, everybody. And you need to go listen to that because Roy Keane pulls no punches for that one. Guys, I'll be right back for the second half. I need to get myself a refill of my water here. Wink. And also grab myself a little bit of food, but I'll be right back, okay? Sammy, I love how you bring that up. And I'll tell you why. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm the biggest Luka Doncic stan you will ever see. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. My guy is absolutely killing him. They can't do anything with him. Sorry, guys, I'm just sending a message here. No, I love it. Luka Doncic is the man, by the way. And the thing is, people can talk about the fact that he's not athletic, or I'm going to put this in the chat as well. Luka. Yeah, people can talk about how he's not athletic and maybe he's not a great shooter, or I don't know. He's not the most ripped dude ever. He's not massive either. So for me to see Luka Doncic do really, really well is amazing. I'm still not totally sold on Kristaps Porzingis either. But Tim Hardaway Jr. is unreal. Brunson's played well. Obviously Boban when fit is amazing as well. So yeah, man, 2-up on the Clippers feels good, really good. And now going back to Dallas as well, the frustration, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Sammy, as well. The frustration for me is having to watch the games really early in the morning. That's brutal. I've never been a huge fan of trying to watch a basketball game at 3:30. For example, I've got a lot of family from the Boston area, so I watched the Celtics Nets last night. I watched the first half. And obviously they were down by 25, 30 points. I was just what is the point in me staying up to watch a team that, I'm hoping to do well in the Celtics, right? And then they just get absolutely torn to shreds. It's just felt like a waste of my time. So, but yeah, he told Pat Bev he's too small. It's true. I love it. Thing is, Luka's not a monster either. Luka's not particularly a big guy. So, I don't know. but every time Pat Bev was covering him, he kind of stood him up, went back, quick little fadeaway. From the field, he nails a lot of his shots. United lack urgency, Omnifoot. Yeah, they do. They do. I don't know who the difference maker is going to be. That's the thing. There's enough players on there where I think you'd say they have them. They have them available to make that difference. But we're not seeing it at the moment, are we? I want to say this is kind of the perfect Villarreal performance right now. And the thing is, United need to score soon. Oh my God. Oh, goalmouth scramble. We love to see it. Yeah. The longer and longer this game goes on, the less and less of a chance I give him to lift the trophy. I have to be honest. The emotional kind of relief of scoring a late goal. Villarreal are exactly the kind of team who would punish you in extra time if it kind of came to it. So I think Man United need to score before 60 minutes to win the game in 90 minutes, because I think if they score, with 10, 20 minutes left to go, not looking good. Did I see that? Yes, I did. That's a scary moment. That was a very scary moment. And Villarreal, let's be honest here. Villarreal have got 4 guys basically up on Man United's defensive line. They're not really messing around here either. We can talk about them just wanting to clear it and clear their lines and do all this kind of stuff. That's not what's happening right now. Well played from Cavani, winning the ball back there in midfield. Not a very sympathetic pass to Bruno. Thing is, I don't really get the sense that this Manchester United team, if they dominate the ball, they can create the necessary chances themselves to win the game. I think they're going to need kind of a set piece or a break of some description to be able to actually come away with a goal here. Bad pass from Pogba. And this was kind of the main thing, I think. Looking at it, there is not the difference maker off the bench. I'd have argued with you guys that I think the better play here would have been to maybe not start one of these 3 guys, one of Cavani, Rashford, just one of them, because I like the aggressive lineup that Manchester United did play, or at least I did. But right now, I'm not so sure, Right, I'll be right back, you guys, okay? So, quick update, you guys. We're turning this into an ASMR channel. So as I eat my food here, please enjoy the sounds of me munching away. They're gradually pressing. Fernandez has been muted by this Villarreal setup. Yeah, and you know what? I bet that was probably kind of the main plan. But the thing is, I think you'd have expected or at least hoped. Ooh, is this a penalty shout? Is that what we're saying? Oh my god. Can you imagine? Bruno Fernandes scores a penalty. Wouldn't that be the most Manchester United thing you've ever seen? Yeah, I mean, if you're stopping Bruno Fernandes, I think the hope would have been there that one of those other four kind of game changer type players, Pogba, Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood, etc., would step up. But it's not happened so far, has it? Like I said, we're an ASMR channel now, you guys. Okay, so just deal with it. Yeah. I'm actually going to mute until we get a question here. Could be a penalty. Omnifoot, I think you might be a little behind me unless the chat is not kind of updating appropriately. Etienne Capu, yellow card. All right. A lot of kind of a Spurs feel to this Villarreal team with, Foyth and Capu as well. I think football matches should just come with a abusive language, offensive language warning. That's my feeling. It always makes me laugh when you hear like, always makes me laugh when you hear like, an F word, S, F, S, C, whatever. You've already heard it. And your kids, if you have kids, they'll have already heard it. So to then be able to come back and say, oh, well, we're really sorry about that, it doesn't really make it right. Just have something at the beginning. Okay, goal. Let's see. Edinson Cavani, lucky, very lucky. Both teams to score, you guys. Everything's happening in the right way. Very lucky goal. Like, let's be honest. This is not the kind of Manchester United goal. And I said they needed to score within the 60 minutes, I think, to win the game outright. And this might be it. They'll check it because, the linesman and the ref, I guess we'll see what happens. Emery has Ollie's number. Dude, in terms of management ability, I don't think it's even close. He's onside, you guys. He's onside. And that's where you make your money, right? That's where you make your money. How often did we hear that as kids? That's where you make your money. So they're checking the goal right now. Ian Dark saying the shirt button might have been offside. I can't imagine this one won't stand. Man, I just got crazy deja vu. Whoa. Interesting to see if any of you guys got deja vu just then. I just got crazy deja vu. Should have put a bet on Cavani scoring then, huh? Odds wouldn't have been good. It's been given. Hey, that's huge. We're kind of back to square one, but I feel like Man United have had their wake-up call. Villarreal are just more tired now, and all of the motivation is going to be with Manchester United. So I do expect Manchester United to score the next goal here. But then it'll be up to Villarreal if they can kind of pull something out here. Guys, I'm not ruling that out. I'll be honest with you, I'm not ruling that out here. To McTominay on his left foot, Fernandez, no goal kick. Everybody's still going with Man United. I mean, now that they've scored, I guess you're kind of feeling that a little bit more. But anybody think that Villarreal have got a second goal in them here? This is so classic Man United, by the way. Conceding, then potentially to go on and win the game. It's just so standard, isn't it? Okay, Sammy, no worries, mate. Sammy, I got some questions for you, by the way, dude, with regards to your football team. See, now Man United's bench starts to look more appealing, right? Especially if they get the next goal. Man United's bench starts to look real good. Good football. Is that Capu, 25? Woo! Nice footwork. I think it will definitely make Man United rethink. Omnifoot, 6 goals in 5 games. Cavani has been clutch. Yeah, man, absolutely. And I don't expect him to slow down next season. I think if anything, he might be better, right? Because he's got a year within the team, knowing the players, a year with Solskjaer. This is not a guy overly reliant on his physical attributes. So I tend to agree with you. He has been super clutch, and I fully expect him to kind of continue doing that. So yeah, but the quandary comes. So if you give Cavani this 1-year extension and you pay him a bunch of money, are you going to sign Harry Kane as well, and then have Cavani not start and be a sub again? I wouldn't do that. Makes me think, especially if Haaland stays at Dortmund one more year, and Man United can try and build a positive relationship again with Mino Raiola financially. Cavani for one more year, and then sign Erling Haaland on for his release clause. Give Pogba whatever he wants if he's still there, or if he signs a new. I think that they're in a tough predicament, Manchester United, and they need to make their decision here. Quick comment there. Did you see the Villarreal fans unhappy that Carlos Bacca just came off for Coquelin? I think that's interesting. That probably says quite a lot about where Villarreal stand in this game. I think they're looking at extra time and penalties potentially. I wouldn't rule out Paco Alcacer in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, maybe to come on and try and score a goal. Omnifoot, Villarreal is still in this mentally, haven't fallen off. I totally agree with you. It's a well-oiled machine here with Villarreal, and let's be honest here. The Villarreal goal was better and more deserved than the Man United goal. We've got to be honest. Cavani, it's just because Cavani individually is so brilliant that they managed to kind of get away with that. Emery switching formations, midfielder, a former Arsenal player, ironically. Yep, Coquelin comes in for Bacco, right? I think Omnifoot, I think you're a little behind me. Are you on YouTube? Are you on the BT Sport YouTube page? You need to get on that. Seriously. They kind of just give you the coverage for free. Rashford's got to be offside. Yeah. I expect him to drop deep, confuse United's midfield order to open up space. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, though, you're giving space for an extra defender to then worry about somebody like a Gerard Moreno, right? So maybe somebody can kind of push up, and Eric Bailly can kind of push up, and Lindelof can maybe cover and screen a little better. Raiola is such a I couldn't help it. Yeah, no, mate, I agree with you. He is, but he does right by his players, and what I mean by that is Donnarumma is going to get more money the way that Raiola has behaved this season. Guys, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best defensive fullback in the world. Unbelievable. Yeah, Raiola's clients will always get more than they should, and he'll get his fair share, but he takes the brunt of being a difficult guy to work with so that his players can benefit from it. And hey, fair play as far as I'm concerned. I wish agents took less money. Personally, I don't think they deserve the money that they get, but I understand it. It has to go up in relation to it has to go up in relation to the players they're dealing with and the money they're dealing with. I remember when Alcacer had a brilliant run for Dortmund. He could very well come on, score from any chance. Yeah, hey man, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I fully expect that to be a Villarreal sub in the last 10 minutes or so. I really do. You've got to imagine Paco Alcacer as a penalty taker too. I think that would make way too much sense for Unai Emery. I'm actually on beIN Sports live stream. Okay, OmniFoot. I don't know where you're from, whether you're in the UK or not, but whether you have access, go find BT Sport on YouTube, and they have the Champions League for free. You need to get on that because it's really good quality, no ads or anything like that. You get the full BT Sport coverage. I'm going to try and finish my food here so you don't have me eating my food during the important parts of the game. Folks watching. Ooh, hands by his side, surely. You're not going to give that. Guys watching. You're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? What's the next sub? What's the next change? Who's it going to be? Is it Fred for Pogba? Is it Fred for Greenwood? Play Pogba maybe wider? Bring Fred in with McTominay and Fernandes? What are you going to do if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now? Milan legitimately let Donnarumma go because they refused to negotiate with Rome. His demands founded nuts. But I got to be honest right now, Haaland has got to be one of the most, if not the most, with Mbappe, it's got to be Haaland or Mbappe, the most prized possession in European football. I mean, if you take into account the age, the talent, the potential, the future sale, Haaland deserves that kind of money. And if Mino is the guy you have to deal with for that, it's just you got to pay the man. Good bit of pressure from Man United here. Sorry, guys. This is honestly awful. I'm so sorry I'm eating in front of you. I'm eating as fast as I can, I swear. Alrighty. I hope you enjoyed Box to Box Football going ASMR. This is my dog, Franklin. My ex-girlfriend made me a pillow with his face on, which I'm gonna cherish forever. But if you're wondering why the hell I've got a pillow with a name and a dog on it, there you go. Go back to drinking my water. People watching, final score predictions. What do we reckon? Um, I can't help but feel like it's going to be 2-1 to Man United. I feel like they'll score between 70 and 80. And then obviously it's just going to be Villarreal pressure till the end with Manchester United counter-attacking. Like I'm not going to be overly surprised if somebody like Dan James comes on. Somebody like Dan James can come on as a sub. And then I don't care who you are, and I don't care what your opinion on Dan James is as a football player. In terms of just pure speed, oof. I mean, Jesus, I don't want to chase that guy after I've been playing against Manchester United in a final for over an hour. So that might be the play from Solskjaer. That would not shock me. United don't have a game changer on the bench, not an obvious one, contextually speaking. Dude, I agree with you. You can maybe try and make the argument for somebody like a Juan Mata, who can be creative, can make something out of nothing, and Amad Diallo, who in the very kind of short period of time that we've seen him play as and when, he's looked okay. But as you said, with regards to being considered a game changer, that's why I said to you, I think that, in my opinion, I'd have gone with this lineup, but I would have taken out a Cavani, a Rashford, a Fernandes, or a Greenwood, played someone else, and then allowed them to have some sort of an impact off the bench. That would have been my main thing. I would have gone with 2-1. Whoever scores next clinches it. It's a bold statement. You're probably right. But I do get the feeling that if Man United score soon, I do think Villarreal have it in them to score, because then we're in a totally new phase of the game that we've not experienced before, which is Man United properly defending and Villarreal properly attacking, right? And I think that when you have that kind of newness in attack and in a transition of a game, things can change dramatically. So I'm not so sure. He's offside, Bruno Fernandes, surely. Rashford? Oh, he missed it! No! Is he offside? Oh, okay. The comment is they think he'd have been offside, but Rashford, it wasn't a sitter. I think that's harsh. But Rashford should score there. I got to be honest. Under the keeper. Damn. But I think Fernandes would have been offside there. You rate Dan, always have. I rate traits in players which you can't teach. So what I mean is Villarreal attacking. Sorry, nice attack here from Villarreal. If they can get a cross in the next 10 seconds. No, rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Danny Parejo with just a hit and hope kind of shot. Yeah, Dan James, I like traits in players which you can't teach or coach, right? So Dan James, in terms of an athlete, his speed, acceleration, ability to cover the ground, that kind of thing. He does. He's a hard worker. Decent stamina to him as well. Like, that's good. It's the coachable stuff that I have kind of an issue with. And what I mean by that is I don't really rate him as a dribbler. I'm not so sure how I feel about him as a crosser as well. And I would also say that, as a finisher, I know he had that kind of hot streak when he first signed for the team in the early parts of, was that last season? Yeah, it must have been last season. Oh, Luke Shaw cutting in. Into Cavani. Oh, Shaw to Cavani. That was a really, really good opportunity there. Mason Greenwood, here's the game changer. It's a goal kick. Yeah, it is. But yeah, Dan James, I think if you can improve his finishing, improve his crossing, improve his dribbling, I know these are huge parts of being a football player. But I think we've seen a lot that if somebody has the physical talent and they can just put the technical side of their game in, that's how you're going to make them great. let's be honest. As good as Messi is from a standpoint of dribbling, we need to acknowledge and appreciate how Messi has acceleration, top end speed, balance, agility, all these traits that you just can't teach. They are part of who you are as an athlete. Yes, Leo Messi is the best dribbler we've ever seen, one of the best finishers we've ever seen, and all this kind of stuff. But there are those physical attributes that come in, which make Messi as good as he is. If Messi wasn't as agile, well balanced, acceleration, all that stuff as we know him to be, he would not be the player we expect him to be. Let's not even touch on Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, Jesus, talk about physical traits. That guy was built to do what he does. And credit where credit's due there, So I'll change up the conversation a little bit here. Champions League final. Are Man City just going to win? Like, do Chelsea have a shot? What do Chelsea have to do to win? I think City just win that game straight up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Timo Werner running the channels on kind of a counter-attack style, I think that Chelsea can be dangerous. But as far as I'm concerned, I think City are just going to have too much for Chelsea. Chelsea are, they lose the FA Cup final. They've already made Champions League. I think there's going to be some imposter syndrome type psychology to that Chelsea team. And it just makes me think that Man City are going to win. My score prediction is 3-1. I really do believe City are going to win 3-1 in 90 minutes. But it's a final. Anything can happen, So Man United have still made no subs, correct? Oh, bad pass from Pogba. Emery looks so at home. He actually looks bored to an oblivious extent. Yeah. Well, I hate to say this. It's one thing I said to James when Emery went to Arsenal. Like, Unai Emery, unfortunately, is never going to play the best football you've ever seen. You're never going to get 100+ point seasons, regardless of the team he manages. And you're never going to look overly convincing. You're never going to really blow teams out. But, excuse me, to use kind of American parlance here, his floor is very high. You're never going to get Unai Emery as a manager and then underachieve to an extent where it's like borderline embarrassing, right? It's never going to happen. But the ceiling aspect of what Unai Emery can achieve is way lower than a lot of other coaches. You know what I mean? Like, right now, I think Unai Emery is a better football manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a better potential as a football manager because I think he's a more offensive, optimistic football manager than somebody like Unai Emery. So, yeah, Unai Emery's going to win the odd domestic cup and he's going to win the odd Europa League. But do I think Unai Emery will ever be able to get it done in, at the top of a domestic league or, like a Spain or an Italy or an England or, a Champions League? Absolutely not. Pep's kind of niche here is Villarreal, Sevilla, Arsenal. He's right around that kind of Europa League level club where, occasionally they'll make top four. Hey, fair play. Occasionally they'll win a cup. Occasionally they'll do this and that. And you'd say it's an overachievement, but they're never going to kind of reach for the stars. And I think that's where Arsenal failed after Wenger. They went with a guy that was a safe bet. And I think if you're Arsenal and if you're the Arsenal fan base, you want somebody who's going to excite. You want somebody who's going to have some optimism for the future. And I think they tried to do that. They tried to repair their mistake with Mikel Arteta. And unfortunately, it's come a couple of years too late. The club are in a totally different position right now. Right, we got a message here. I think Pep has been arrogant. Mind games have been afoot. Not sure about how that'll happen when the game kicks off. Yeah, it's arrogance, I suppose. All I'd say is it's Pep Guardiola. You know what I mean? It's Pep Guardiola. I can't say He's such a good manager. I don't truly respect him, I think, as highly as everyone else does, because I think Pep needs certain things to be successful as a manager. For example, I don't think Pep could manage in the Championship and take a team to to the top, maybe, or League One or whatever. I think he needs certain players of a certain caliber to execute what he wants. Now, fair play, that's a manager who's built for the upper echelons of football. But for me, I think I put a lot of weight into somebody who can manage anyone, right? But in terms of arrogance, I'm not so sure, because I think he backs up what he does and what he says. As far as I'm concerned, that Barcelona 2008 to 2012-13 squad and team, that's the best football team I've ever watched play. Now, I'm 26. I haven't been around the block as much as maybe some other guys who've been going to live football games for 50 years. But I've been to university, got a football degree. I've watched a lot. This is my real passion in life, and I think Pep is one of the best to ever do it, and he can really back up what he says. And Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea, they got a point to prove. I said this to James in a video the other day. If the Chelsea recruitment staff and management, upper management, had, if you'd have told them, hey, so you'll finish top 4, you'll be in the Champions League final, they'd have been like, oh my God, that's too soon. We're not ready for that. We were supposed to spend all this money, have 2 or 3 years kind of gelling and getting things right, and then moving from there. And I'd have kind of been like, okay, understandable. So I think it's to a certain extent, it's kind of a free hit for this Chelsea team. And I think there's a certain level of freedom and expression that you can put there for Chelsea, and maybe City will crack under the pressure. It's hard to tell. Is that corner? Yep, corner for Manchester United. You don't look that smug before a UCL final. He's brilliant, all credit to him, but even Mourinho didn't look that aloof before such final. Thanks for press conference. You might be right. And, maybe this will be the result that kind of takes him down a peg. But unfortunately, I do kind of feel as though that this, Man City are just going to win this game, plain and simple. And he'll be kind of vindicated in his confidence and his kind of comments. I can dislike it as much as you can, but success is all that matters in the end. Wow, good play from Pogba, defending from the front there. Some good pressure from Man United here. You're absolutely correct. I'm a year younger, bro, so I know exactly where you're coming from. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I watched, to any great detail any of the fantastic Dutch and Italian managers from back in the day. I didn't. I can do as much research as I can and watch as many games and documentaries and such that I can, but I can only deal with what I know, and the history books. I'd love to tell you how great Trapattoni was, but I don't have the same exposure to Giovanni Trapattoni as I do to Pep Guardiola and Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, who are the 2 greatest of all time. I'm a Ronaldo guy. I think it depends what you like in a player from that respect. George Best, true genius. I've seen a couple of George Best documentaries in my day, so I'll be interested to see if that's any good. It'll be interesting to see if BT are offering that as part of YouTube. If not, I'll have to probably watch it another time. Oh my God! Everybody see the Greenwood Cavani high five that just didn't go quite right? That's good. So, guys, 10 minutes left. Extra time, or are Man United going to score? True that. As long as he walks the walk, nothing else compared. Yeah, no, exactly. I talk about I think people cockiness and arrogance are that way. It's kind of more of a feeling. Whereas actually, if you look at kind of the definition, largely speaking, if somebody can back up that cockiness and arrogance, then it's not cockiness and arrogance. It's that's just where we're at. Yellow card for Eric Bailly there. Not a yellow card for me. I understand it. I guess they'd argue that's an elbow to the face, but it's the classic, yet again, and I can't blame Paco Alcacer. Like, if you feel an arm on the face, if you react like that, you'll probably get the decision. And as far as the rule book goes, he should not be doing that to gain an advantage. So yeah, I don't love it. And if somebody put their arm in my face like that, I would just continue to play. But this is like arguably the second biggest game of club football in the world. And I think that, well, I'd say probably the semi-finals are probably a bit bigger of the Champions League than this one, but still, this is a huge game, and you have to do what you do to get ahead. And if you're just alerting the referee to a foul, I'm okay with that. It's when there's no contact that's what bothers me. Diving where there is no actual foul. I don't mind players exaggerating because a foul has happened. Good play down the left from United. There's a foul there on Luke Shaw for sure. Yeah, there we go. There's the foul. Late challenge there, coming in on Luke Shaw. Was it on Pau Torres? Oh, is Luke Shaw hurt? So Luke Shaw goes to cross the ball. It's Juan Foyth. Oh, he's got his studs up on his leg. That's not pretty. They might look at that actually in terms of dangerous play. Yeah, they'll look at that in terms of dangerous play. Yeah, there's the yellow for Foyth. Fair enough. I think that's probably the right decision. Yo, Jack, I'm back, bro. What you wanted to ask me about Madrid? Right. Sammy, talk to me about Madrid. Who do you think is going to come in as manager, or do you think Zidane will stay? Second, who do you think realistically is going to leave the club? Is Dani Ceballos going to leave? Is Odegaard going to leave? Is Bale going to leave? Etc. Etc. Like, who's leaving? And who do you honestly believe is coming in? Is Erling Haaland coming in? Right? Is Mbappe coming in? Well, I just want your take, because I get the feeling this is going to be arguably the biggest summer since, what was it, 2009 of Real Madrid's, history. And, it might mean new manager, 4 or 5 players going out, 3 or 4 players coming in. I just wonder who you think those names are going to be. Important free kick here for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes and Luke Shaw standing over it. Mason Greenwood a little shorter, and then a group of 4 guys. I think McTominay, Pogba, Cavani. Lifted up to the back. Scott McTominay juggling in the box. Rashford with kind of a rash shot goes wide. 5 minutes left in the game. I think Zidane is staying and Mbappe is coming. I think I agree with you. Ceballos has to go. I agree with you. I do think Mbappe is going to come. I think if PSG let Kylian Mbappe go on a free transfer and don't win the Champions League in his final year, that's one of the worst footballing decisions I've ever seen. Ever. If Zidane leaves, I desperately want Conte there. Hey, I get it. I totally get it. Are you open at Real Madrid to continuing with 3 centre-backs, though? Or do you think do you think Conte would transition to a back 4? Also, do you want any Inter players? Because obviously, financially, they're not in a great spot, So I'd be intrigued to see what happens there. Dying moments of the game here, ladies and gentlemen. Last 7 minutes here. I think we're going to extra time. Here we go. More Premier League reunions here. I think that's Alberto Moreno. Yep. Alberto Moreno and Mario Gaspar coming up. Have Man United still not made a change? Pedraza coming off. Who else? So here comes Moreno for Pedraza. If Conte is coming, he might as well bring Hakimi with him. Dude. Salty that you let him go. Guy's unreal. Mario Gaspar for Foyth. Understandable if we're being honest here. Yeah, no, Hakimi's so good. Hakimi is so good. I understand the defensive, a little bit frail there, not as good as, like we're watching Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for goodness sake, nowhere near his level defensively. But I think what you get in an offensive sense, it's not too dissimilar to to Marcelo. Like, let's be honest, we have all seen the heat map of Marcelo in some Real Madrid games in his time there. The guy is sometimes the furthest guy forward. Like, him and Ronaldo are basically playing as a front two, and that's a fullback. So Real Madrid can definitely accommodate a fullback in a back four who plays that kind of style. Conte will most likely not make the switch. He's high maintenance. If Perez doesn't give him the players he wants, he will walk. Yeah, you're right, but I feel like Madrid might be in a position this summer, especially with kind of player trades becoming more of an aspect in the transfer market, because Real Madrid have a lot of players who they could potentially quite happily get rid of in terms of like a trade perspective. Excuse me again. That I think if Real Madrid can lower that wage bill a little bit, bring in some of the players that they really want, and on top of Man United with a chance, Pogba messed the header up. If Real Madrid can lower their wage bill, bring some players in that they want, get some players out that they don't want, we can talk from there, because Conte might be intrigued by that. Bro, it's the 88th minute here on my stream. Let's see what minute I'm on. I'm on the 90th minute. Dude, if you're still on that beIN Sports one, honestly, if you don't have access, try and get access to the BT Sport one. It's good. It's good coverage. I like the way BT do this. I'm going to try and get BT Sport and Now TV. I think pretty soon, maybe for next season. Being NFL fan too, like I want to get those, like 7 hours of Sunday football in. Okay, added time. I'm going to guess 4 minutes, but it might be 3. It is 3. Lindelof with a ping to Rashford. So Man United have still made no subs, right? So guys, it feels like we're going to extra time. How are we still feeling here? Still feeling good? Man United to win? Big congrats to France on winning the Euros. I don't think so, Sammy. I don't think so. I know what you mean, and I know where you're coming from, because that front three, oh my goodness, right? And the midfield and the defense, and I hear you. I'm still going to put my money on Portugal. And I know you might be thinking, like, what the hell are you talking about here? But I think Portugal have so much quality across the entire pitch, and you've got Cristiano Ronaldo. I know they're in that group of death as well. Like, I get it. I know. But with the way Bruno Fernandes is playing, the way Ronaldo is playing, the way Ruben Diaz is playing, you got Diogo Jota. I mean, go through the Portuguese squad. It's unbelievable. It really is very high quality, like kind of across the board, really. Villarreal might have a shot here. Pau Torres, proper centre back shot from kind of the corner of the box there. This feels like it's going to extra time, ladies and gentlemen. Is that Theo Hernandez, right? I don't rate Portugal deeper midfielders. I still think Moutinho, Neves, Danilo Pereira, William Carvalho. I think they have enough in there, mate. I really do. João Cancelo, Jose Font, still great. I'm not so sure. I think Rafael Guerreiro at left back. I think the Portuguese squad is really, really strong. I agree, Omnifoot. I think you're absolutely right. What I would say to you though, mate, is Manchester United have made no subs, right? So while the game is kind of still the way the game is, in extra time, Man United could just bring on so many fresh legs, and we could be talking about a totally different game. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I don't know. Portugal, I think, are dangerous. I think I've seen odds for Portugal to win the Euros as long as 9-1. I mean, that's a decent little bet if you're betting. I think it's easy to pick France. I can understand why you'd pick England because it's kind of a home advantage to a certain extent with the games at Wembley and that kind of thing. Belgium obviously always going to be dangerous. Lukaku, De Bruyne, the great seasons they've had. I think Spain too. I mean, you can never rule out Spain. Italy will always be rogue. I don't know. Portugal. I don't know. Nations League. They won the last Euros. I just think Portugal will be dangerous. Rui Patricio will probably be in goal. Hope beats hate. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to mute this right now. Okay. So, guys, any questions or comments, or what's the deal here? Did anybody catch my end of season Premier League awards video? If you did, I'd love to hear some criticisms, or if France play a midfield three, who partners Pogba and Kante for you? Oof. Difficult question. One other point I wanted to bring up about Portugal, guys, we can't. Renato Sanchez has had one hell of a game here, a hell of a season here. For Lille. So Renato Sanchez is. I don't think he's back from a standpoint of like this is the wonder kid of European football again, but Renato Sanchez is back in the mix for that Portugal squad as well, and he can be a game changer. If France play a midfield three who partners Pogba and Kante, man, who partners them for you, Sammy? What do you think? Ndombele. I understand that. I think the issue with Ndombele is he's more like Pogba in terms of he's a proper kind of street footballer. I love Tanguy Ndombele. I think he's absolute class. What about like Tolisso or somebody like that? Or do you not think they've had a good enough year to justify that position? I think you need a somewhat steady pair of hands there. You don't want to be in a position where you've got somebody a bit rogue in that position. I would, that's why you don't really want a game changer. Kante's going to do a lot of the work. Pogba's kind of got an X factor. I think you just want somebody who's going to be steady. Rabiot, yeah. Can I throw out a rogue suggestion? and I think I'm gonna sound a lot like a Roma fan here. But he's had a fantastic year, and will be able to just kind of knit things together, and put in a lot of work to allow Pogba, Griezmann, Benzema, all these guys to just do their thing. Jordan Veretout. Jordan Veretout is a very, very good football player. Really is. Really is. There's no bad part of his game. He's a 6 or 7 out of 10 in attack, defense, and midfield. Honestly, he really is. And I think that Jordan Veretout is the type of guy, he could even just let Kante kind of do whatever he wants in terms of trying to search out the ball to then try and find Pogba. I know that I'm almost certain that Veretout's not been selected, but Jordan Veretout is a serious player, and he deserves a lot more respect. He's been, up with somebody like Mkhitaryan and Pellegrini. Veretout has been like one of Roma's best players of the season, and I know it was a down year for Roma, but I watch every game, so obviously I'm going to be super biased to him, but I do think he's a great player. Villarreal are more relevant than they've been since their UCL run in the mid-late 2000s. You're right. Seriously, you're right, because, especially even when they lose players, it's just next man up, and they've got the perfect kind of manager now for the type of thing that they want to do. So credit where credit's due, good recruitment. They sell when the time is right. They buy at good value. Yeah, guys, I got to be honest here. I'm always going to support a British team over a Spanish team. But I'd kind of like Villarreal to win this one. They've got more to play for in this respect than a team like Manchester United. And then they've been good. It's not been special, but they've done enough to stay in the game. Gaultier left the club. Yeah, Gaultier, Mannion left the club as well. And who else left the club? There was another player. Soumare is probably going to go to Leicester City as well for like next to nothing, which is just crazy. And yeah, unfortunately, there is a certain level of Monaco 2.0 going on here. And I think Lille know that for the longevity of the club and the future of the club, that they need to make, strike while the iron's hot, not rest on their laurels. If they have one down year, then Lille are in a position where they haven't made as much money as maybe they could. And we've seen what they've done with Nicolas Pepe, Osimhen, and Burak Yilmaz. Over the last few seasons, they're not worried about getting rid of players, because they'll bring in replacements who will do really just as good a job. Let's be honest. I want to see Deschamps play a front four of Benzema, Mbappe, Dembele, and Griezmann versus Hungary. Whoo! The one thing I would say, Sammy, is you're kind of forcing Hungary's hand there a little bit, from a standpoint of they're just going to play like a deep low block, and you're then not going to be able to take advantage of the speed of Mbappe, Dembele, and arguably Griezmann as well. So that's not what I would do. I would play with a front three, and I would do. Sorry, the game is going on. I'm going to unmute here. I would go Mbappe, Benzema, and Griezmann, and I would play midfield three, and I'd probably just allow Pogba maybe to be that fourth guy, give him some more freedom to do what he does best. Because I feel like the moment you start playing a front four, Hungary is just going to be like, well, we're just going to do a bank of four and a bank of five, and have our striker kind of try and put pressure on one of the holding midfielders, and we're going to go from there. Positive attack here from Villarreal. Defensive clearance from Shaw in the first half of extra time here. How's everybody found the game so far? Kind of as expected? I knew both teams would score. I'll be honest, I did feel like I was confident with that. But, yeah. Okay. Right, how are we looking here? So Villarreal have kind of got the ball for the time being. A little slower. Thing is, with games like this, I feel like you're kind of drudging towards penalties. Solskjaer's lack of substitutions is really kind of an outstanding thing. I mean, even if it's just something boring like Fred for McTominay, I feel like something really has to happen here. Excuse me. Alex Tejes for Luke Shaw. I feel like something has to happen. Moving Rashford to number 9 and bringing on Amad Diallo or Mata or somebody, you can't expect guys to play an hour and a half of, 2 hours of football, because especially if Villarreal win this 2-1, you'll look at Solskjaer's lack of substitutions and that's going to be a major, major issue, right? These are guys who've played a lot of games too. This Manchester United squad, his game's been visceral. Okay. Psychologically speaking, yeah. Good header from Albiol. Doing some damage though to his own player there in Etienne Capoue. I don't think Eric Bailly's looked too bad. I know he was a bit of a risk coming in, but I don't think he's looked terrible. Fair play. Victor Lindelof was, I think, the one at fault for the goal. I think that's Robbie Savage bringing up the point. Yeah, Donny van de Beek. I mean, that's the type of guy I'd hate to play after you've played an hour and a half of football. The last guy I want to see is somebody like a Donny van de Beek. I mean, oof, you lose that guy. You've got him in your kind of sights as a defender or even as a midfielder. You know where he is, and then he just kind of dips, and then he picks up a half space, slots in somebody like Cavani, and that's the way somebody like Donny van de Beek operates. It's never going to be flashy and cool when you're thinking about a player like that. And people can be critical all they want of Donny van de Beek's season, but I feel like he knows full well that he's going to be given plenty of opportunities either next season or the season after to be kind of a long-term member of this team. And when he's come on, he's looked really, really good. You really can't say otherwise. Man United really do feel like they're just kind of hoofing the ball up right now, though. Ollie is scared. He looks it. He has to react. Yeah, I agree with you. You need to be proactive in football management, not reactive, because reactive, suggests that something's happened without your knowledge or without your control. So trust me, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Yep, game's getting a little bit choppy now. Players starting to look tired from Manchester United, and subs need to come in because Villarreal will score. Paco Alcacer's on the field. Gerard Moreno is still on, right? Number 7. Can't find him anywhere. See, this is the problem with me muting the TV when at half time and at full time, because I need to know what's going on. Got to try and figure it out. Fullback underlap. Parejo to the back post. Gerard Moreno is still on the field. Luke Shaw defending well at the back there. In Villarreal, credit where credit's due. I'm looking at David De Gea in his own box with the ball, and I can see 5 Villarreal players pushing up the field, closing down the space. So they're trying. When they have the ball, it's not too optimistic and progressive. They are playing it relatively safe. But without the ball, they're trying here. They're doing something. Moreno messed that up. Yeah, look at Emery. You messed that up. Damn, that would frustrate me as a manager, you guys. Oof. Here's the thing, Sammy. I don't think Alberto Moreno is a bad player. I think he's a bad decision maker. What I mean by that is I think he's a decent dribbler. He's not a bad defender. I think he's a good attacking outlet. Good athlete. He's got a lot going for him as a football player, but man, the decision making is absolutely abysmal. That's what I can kind of very rarely get my head around. Villarreal, great pressure, by the way, here. Great pressure. Man United can't get out. I can see 4 guys in my screen right now. 5. Another one's just entered. Rain's coming down in Gdansk. Hoofing up the line. Oh, my God. Good football. Better first touch, and Paco Alcacer would have done a little better there, but that was a difficult chance to take, to be fair. Here we go. Right, Mason Greenwood is coming off for Fred. Now, I thought that is actually something I thought might happen from before. So I believe right now we're going to see Pogba in a slightly more offensive type role, and then we'll see Fred drop in right now next to Scott McTominay. Five minutes until the end of first half extra time. I hate extra time. I really do wish the golden goal format existed as part of the extra time. I get no sense that either team cares to take too much of a risk to try and win the game in extra time. I really don't get that sense. Villarreal bossing it now. Yeah, mate, dude. Positioning, tactically, yeah, killing it. They're not letting Man United out. I think, to be fair, I think Solskjaer bringing on another midfielder, I think there's a reason there. They're trying to, try in as much as they can to get control of the game here. Dangerous kind of chance here. We have to remember, guys, that Villarreal scored their goal from a set piece and from a header. And here we are, set piece. Ball's going to be floated in here. You got Pau Torres causing trouble. Some decent offensive options here. Parejo with the cross. Alcacer's in there. Pau Torres. Coquelin. Edge as well. I mean, the edge of the box is... No, it has been delivered. De Gea managed to tip that behind. Damn, De Gea. I'm not sure about De Gea's haircut. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm not so sure about David De Gea's haircut right there. Seven corners to Villarreal, 3 to Manchester United. Villarreal fans loving it, optimistic. I bet the Manchester United fans are worried if they cut to them. Good delivery. Well out. Oh, Marcus Rashford got a 1-on-1. Well read by 25. Is that Capu? Yeah, it is. Won the ball back quite well. Yeah. Well played. Okay, so again, I think we're going to... Oh, no. Okay, Man United have gotten out quite well. I thought we were going to revert back to type where Manchester United really couldn't get out. But, fair play. 2 minutes left of this kind of first half of extra time. And like I say, the reason why I don't like this format is I do not get the sense that that either team cares to take a risk to win this game in extra time, because Capu had a hold of McTominay's shirt there. See, that's the kind of thing that does go missing, which is a bit of a shame. McTominay doesn't really foul in there. It's more of a foul from Capu. Solskjaer does look worried. Who said that? Ollie is scared. Yeah, Omnifoot, you were right, man. Unai Emery is marching up and down that sideline. He looks like he knows he's got the game kind of right where he wants it, whereas Solskjaer is looking a bit scared here. Jesus, yeah. Manchester United's 61st game of the season, I just heard. And only one sub's come on. And we're just about to finish the first half of extra time. This is to me where you have to take a risk. And whether that risk is Juan Mata, Amad Diallo, Donny van de Beek, one of these guys, you've got to take some sort of a risk to try and win the game. Because as of right now, this is going to slowly dribble on until penalties. And then it's anybody's game. I'm sure you could say that one team is maybe more likely to win a penalty shootout, but it's how you're feeling on the day, Yeah, just kind of controlling the ball in the middle third here, waiting for the end of the first half of extra time. Oh, Pogba with a cross. Oh no, more of a wide play to Rashford, who's offside. I think that's going to be the end of the first half of extra time. Yeah, just off. Yeah, half a yard or so. That's fair. I wonder if end of the first half of extra time, if some real big, more large changes are going to be made. Emery talking to Paco. It is funny to see Gerrard on the back of a shirt. I know it's Gerard Moreno, but just very nostalgic to see Gerrard, especially if it was number 8, like, honestly. Omnifoot, I'd bring Mata on for Rashford, Donny van de Beek on for Pogba. I think Van de Beek, Mata, and Fernandes on the same pitch is probably not right. That's where honestly I would take a risk. I would go Dan James or Amad Diallo for Rashford, and then Van de Beek for Pogba. Yeah, I think Van de Beek for Pogba is the one that does stand out the most to make sense. Rio Ferdinand saying he never wanted it to go to penalties. I'm just trying to get a sense here if any of the Man United players look like they're going to be warming up pretty soon, because obviously you've got kind of more specialist penalty takers, right? Sammy, be right back. Yeah, no worries, mate. You don't need to be here. It's nice to have you, but you don't need to be here. Alex Telles, I believe, takes penalties and took penalties for Porto. So I think that Alex Telles for somebody like Luke Shaw or even for one of the centre-backs, as you get closer and closer to that time, that would make a lot of sense. And again, like, is David De Gea a good penalty kind of shot stopper? I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. As we get closer and closer to it, I probably won't continue the live stream here for penalties, because I don't want to mess you up if you're on a different stream watching at a different time. So Once we kind of get to the end of extra time here, I'll probably end the stream. Obviously, feel free to get into the comments section still. Let me know your thoughts. Additionally, get at us on Twitter at Box to Box Football. I believe James is still running the Instagram as well. Obviously, check out our videos and whatnot on YouTube. Subscribe if you're not. And we appreciate everybody coming in. And I don't think we eclipsed 10 people, but that's cool. It's a big game. You'd rather be watching the game than trying to interact with me. That was a foul from Victor Lindelof. A risk has to be made. Oh, I forgot about James. I would have made the same claim. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, there you go. I mean, like I did. I'm not saying I'm definitely right on that. Mata and Van der Beek could come on and it could be brilliant. You never know. But to me, there's too many ball players. You need somebody in there with the speed, athleticism, etc., to be able to kind of really change the game and be on the end of those creative players. Not the best delivery. Yeah, Fred's sitting a little too deep, in my opinion. And Villarreal, like I said, credit where credit's due. They're up. They're up in Man United's faces. They're not sitting up. Man United, they need to take the game to this team because Villarreal are puffing their chests out and saying, "Hey, we're here to try and win this football game." Oh, good goalkeeping. Nice little through ball there from Lindelof trying to get Cavani in. Yeah, Rashford start. I mean, the only reason you're leaving Rashford on at this point is for penalties, you'd imagine. But then again, like it's the risk you take. You want him on for a penalty, which if he just hits it wrong, he misses, and you kind of ruin the opportunity to, you ruin the opportunity to try and win the game outright if you don't have the outlet, Ooh, this might get looked at. Fred's challenge. Coquelin seems okay with him. No, he's all right. He was off the floor. I didn't know if studs were raised there at all. And I think if Coquelin had made a bigger deal out of that and it looked bad, that could have been a red card. Like let's not kid ourselves here. Another opportunity. Again, I'd say it's probably not the most likely position where Villarreal might score. But nearly a good delivery. Probably about 3 or 4 yards too far. United will choke if it goes to pens. De Gea will basically 2014 or edition of Tim Krul. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You'd say on paper, United have the better penalty takers, right? But the game's not played on paper, right? That's the classic quote. It's played on grass, and you need the guys to actually be able to do it. Just going into kind of the last 10 minutes or so here. 10 plus minutes left. Rashford kind of stumbling a little bit. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, Rashford's down now. Kind of hits the ground there. Rashford missing from the Euros would not be good for England, I'll tell you that. I mean, it would make Gareth Southgate's decision-making a little easier. Sterling, Sancho, I mean, that still doesn't sound bad, I got to be honest with you here. But it would be a shame for him personally, I think. Dan James warming up. Omnifoot, where are you at? Dan James for Rashford. Looks like it. And I think that's what you need. If you're a fullback and you've played nearly 2 hours of football, the last thing you want is some Welsh kid sprinting at you full pelt. So I get it. And if he can put a half decent cross in, Edinson Cavani's going to be there. And if Villarreal want to push up as high as they're pushing up, Axel Tuanzebe too. Interesting. Be interested to see who that's for. Might be for Bailly. Maybe Eric Bailly's not a great penalty taker. I guess we'll have to see. Rashford has come back on. Pogba is now kind of playing 10, and we got Bruno Fernandes out on the right with McTominay and Fred kind of as the double pivot. Pogba with some room and grass in front of him. Cavani out to the left. Little ball out to Luke Shaw. James is coming on for Rashford. We called it. There you go, dude. We should be managing this team. Wow. Bad kind of play there from Eric Bailly. Some nice football from Francis Coquelin. Gerard Moreno. Ambitious ball. Has it paid off? It has. Oh, good chance for Alcácer. Good defending by Scott McTominay. Damn. There's a good opportunity there for Villarreal. Jesus, guys, some scrappy football being played right here. Some really scrappy football. I think Villarreal will kick themselves if they lose on penalties. Because on the field, they've shown a lot of the right attitude in terms of trying to score. In terms of when they've been defending, they've pushed up high and, they've really asked a lot of United and said, hey, can you beat us kind of thing. But they don't, there's no kind of conviction in that last ball as if they're really trying to score. You know what I mean? I think they'll kick themselves if they lose on penalties to Man United. But you know what? Maybe they'd take that. I know you'd say, what? You'd never take a loss in the final, but the way they're playing, it does not suggest to me like they're going to, I don't know. This looks a bit better. Oh, Scott, this is weird. What happened there? Scott McTominay's gone down. What's going on here? I don't know what happened there. Something I think maybe happened off the ball. If Villarreal score, this is really, this is huge. Oh, this might go to VAR, you guys. Cavani yellow card. I think that's for dissent. Something's happened to Scott McTominay there. We'll see whether this is a justified reaction or not. I feel like, unfortunately, guys, this is professional football, so I feel like it won't be. But let's see if we can find out what happened here. Pogba looks like he's suffering with his hamstring, right hamstring too. De Gea chatting to the ref. So McTominay's trying to bring the ball out. Oh, and a guy just kind of shoulder barges into the floor. Yeah, maybe that's a yellow card. But I mean, Scott McTominay is a big Scottish central midfielder. He should not be reacting like that, let's be honest. Potential penalty check. Okay. Check over. Weird one. So the penalty was for hitting Fred. So it hit Fred's left arm. I don't know if his it's kind of maybe in unnatural position. I'm not so sure. I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's like, is it a pen? Like, this is where I just wish for consistency. I don't particularly have a strong opinion either way on whether every handball should be given as a foul or whether it should be kind of a decision type thing. But I just need the consistency. I've seen some handballs given this year that aren't handballs, and some handballs given this year that weren't so we just need to try and get some consistency across the board. And I don't rate the IFAB trying to change the rules mid-season. I think that's so stupid. And they say, well, they don't actually get implemented until next season. Like, you tell me, you're a referee or a fourth official or a linesman or whatever, a VAR person, and tell me that you're not thinking about the latest rule change for next season during the season you're doing it. Come on. That's rubbish. Anyway. So Axel Twanzebe on for Eric Bailly. That I can only imagine that's kind of an injury. I can only imagine that's an injury, unless Axel Twanzebe takes kind of a mean penalty here. I guess we'll see. Oh, Sammy, you still in the chat? Zidane is leaving Real Madrid. Sammy, if you're there, I need to hear this reaction. And it's not from some kind of dodgy person here. Fabrizio Romano, Zidane has decided to leave Real Madrid with immediate effect. Yeah, apparently. You talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on here? Zidane leaving Real Madrid. Who's coming in? Who have they got in the crosshairs? Is Zidane going to go to Inter? To Juve? To Spurs? What's going on? I know we're in the midst of... Dude, Sammy, I'm not lying to you here. Fabrizio Romano exclusive. He never puts exclusive on his news. I think it's exclusive because it's a proper kind of piece of information that he's got. Yes, it's going to depend. It feels that way. If I'm Man United, you take the risk. I would have. I mean, maybe with 2 or 3 minutes to go, it's not worth it. But as far as I'm concerned, you should have taken the risk at full time. You should have brought the reinforcements on and given the boys half an hour to go out and try and win a game. I doubt Villarreal have any more subs to kind of bring on. So, and we'll see how the shootout goes. Largely speaking, I think I'd probably still back Manchester United. I think they have the better goalkeeper and the better penalty takers, but it's a penalty shootout. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going to happen. Guys, I am going to end the stream at kind of the end of extra time here because, like I say, I don't want to kind of release the results of the penalty kicks if you're on a different stream. That's not a foul, Luke Shaw, and you're not hurt. I'm telling you that. VAR person. Here we go. Juan Mata. Damn, Omnifoot. How many of these did you get right here, my friend? Mata on for Rashford, Van der Beek on for Pogba. Well, I mean, we got Dan James and we got Mata, so you're right. I think Juan Mata probably takes a mean penalty. I would say that's probably true. So I personally believe that this will not be kind of a tactical substitution. This will purely be a, hey, Juan, we need you to come on and take a penalty here. But be interested to see who for. Are you going to take off a Scott McTominay or maybe even a Fred who has just come on because maybe you don't trust them to take penalties. I guess we'll see here. Allegri most likely to go to Madrid. I think so. Allegri, to Max Allegri's credit, he's been very patient. Very rarely in football do you get the luxury of being patient about taking your next job. And Max Allegri has been linked to 100 different teams at 100 different times. So as far as I'm concerned, Max Allegri getting the Real Madrid job he's kind of bided his time very effectively, and fair play to him. Dude, Dan James is everywhere. Jeez. Oh, ball snipped through. Good block by Fred. Damn. 3 minutes of added time into the added time. Like I say, guys, at full time, I'm gonna end this stream because I don't want to I don't want to leak those. I don't want to leak the results of the penalty kicks, and then obviously James and I'm sure we'll do a video either tonight or tomorrow in terms of reacting to the game. Alex Tellez coming on, so yeah, here we go, guys. It's two Manchester United penalty takers are coming on. Alex Tellez took penalties and was captain for Porto. Juan Mata historically has always taken penalties, so it's honestly not going to overly surprise me if these guys come in for fullbacks or centre backs, seriously, or maybe even a midfielder, so a holding midfielder. So I guess we will see. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know the game's not over yet, and I will react if something does happen. But it's been a pleasure. To those of you that have come on. I think the next video where we're gonna probably try and go live is the Champions League final. I think James and I will both be here, kind of chatting to one another. Obviously, that is the big game. I mean, if Man United win the Europa League, it's not even that big of a deal. But let's be honest, it's a trophy that they shouldn't be trying to win. They should be higher than that, and they've already made Champions League. So to a certain extent, it doesn't really matter if Manchester United win this. Villarreal, this means absolutely everything. So I think that's where kind of the excitement has come in. But I appreciate you guys being here for the time that you have. That was a foul throw, Gaspar. Here we go. So Alex Tellez for Wan-Bissaka. No, excuse me. Juan Mata for... Oh, no. So Scott McTominay and Wan-Bissaka, I think. Manuel Campello, let's go Villarreal. Yeah, man. Let's hope so. I mean, it'd be cool if they could pull something off here. So Wan-Bissaka and McTominay for Mata and Tellez. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really bringing on his penalty takers here. I guess with the hope that with these changes they don't make any major changes. 25 for 12? Oh, Tellez is 12. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was Etienne Capoue. So Etienne Capoue comes off. Who came on there? Oh, he's hit his back, maybe? So, yeah, guys, this is going to go to penalties. Probably. Let's see. But I would imagine so. I'm broken, Jack. Just get me Conte. Dude, it's going to be Allegri, mate. It's going to be Allegri. It's going to be Allegri, and either Barca or Atleti will win the title, and you won't win the Champions League, and it'll be Perez out. You'll be all over it. I can just picture it. Hey, man. Zizou, it's the best spell as a manager I think we've ever seen. The trophies per game, the three-peat of the biggest, most competitive competition in the world. I mean, oof. There it is, guys. End of extra time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's there with his pen and piece of paper, working out who's going to kind of be next. In terms of the penalty taking routines. I'm going to end the stream here. Like I said, I don't want to ruin the results of the penalties. I want you to react to them live like I'm going to react to them live. But yeah, deuces. Sammy, my only worry is Conte has never even made a UCL semi-final. Yeah, I hear you, but we can't underestimate what he achieved at Inter, and this guy, he's one of the best managers in the world. If not, he's a top 3 manager right now. I'd put him. He's right up there with Klopp and Pep and those kind of guys. I don't think we can rule that out. But Sammy, appreciate your support. Manuel Campello, appreciate your support. Omnifoot TV, appreciate your support, dude. AGM, James, everybody. It's been great doing this watch along with you. I've appreciated the questions and the conversations. But I'm going to let you guys enjoy the penalty shootouts as I will. And there will be a reaction from myself and James in the next 24 hours or so. We will probably end up doing a video on it. But like I say, I just don't want to ruin the penalties for you if my stream is a little earlier than yours. But it's been real. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos. But failing that, see you next time.